If you're a student coming in and you're gonna ask, which sector is better? We're gonna have to do an assessment to see what's better for you. And what's better for you might not be the same as what's better for me. It's the same with patients that come in a retail setting and they ask the best painkiller. I have a headache, what's the best? And I'm always perplexed, like, the best for whom? If you have kidney issues, you might not want to take any combination that has myelin. That's not going to be the best for you. But if your kidneys are good, if you're not hypertensive, if you don't have any chest issues or headache, cranial pressure issues or injuries or addictions, then maybe codeine is the best. But it's never just a blanket statement of this is the best. It's usually followed by a for whom, okay? So it's always relative. Hi guys, welcome back to Farmers. Okay. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been watching this channel for a while now and you haven't yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button. It does me so much good. If you are a longtime subscriber, thank you so much for your support on this channel. It is seen, it is appreciated, and thank you so much. Okay, so you've seen the title of this video. We're here to talk about money. Okay, this is like the single most interesting topic to most of you. Like, I get a million questions on a regular basis asking me about money and like opportunities in pharmacy and like, I'm in high school, I don't know if I should do pharmacy, or I done this other degree and now I want to switch to pharmacy, should I? And you guys never ask somebody else to tell you about your life's path and journey. Like, that's number one, okay? I could never tell you to do pharmacy or not, because I don't know what God has for you. I don't know what your vocation is. I don't know what you were put on this earth to do. And that's something you're going to have to take up with God and discuss it between the two of you. Because how dare I come and tell you, yes, do it, or no, don't do it. Meanwhile, it's maybe your destiny, or maybe that's what you were put on this earth for. So I hate, whoops. Okay. I'll call her back in a bit. I hate when people just take on this huge responsibility, which they're not even supposed to, and just like tell other people about their lives. I was saying, stop asking people about your life and what you should do. Ask God. And if you can't hear him, at least do a career guidance test and check what's most suitable for you, okay? Even if an industry seems to be the worst and blah, 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 if it's your passion and if it's your vocation or your like destiny, you're the one who's meant to go in and do great things and transform things. So never be like, oh, are there jobs, or like, fine, you can do an assessment to know if you're, if it's like viable and stuff. But yeah, never, never let somebody else determine your destiny is all I'm going to say. So speaking of pharmacy, I've done so many videos now where I explain the pros and the cons, and I tell you, try and explain like the scope and some of the salaries and everything. So now in this video, I want to reveal to you the actual gem. I hinted about it in a different video where I was talking about how to get into industry. But to be honest, you guys, when you hear a pharmaceutical sector, you think of money mostly if you're like clued up a bit. But the one sector within pharmacy that has the most cash is industry. Okay. So, like I said before in the previous video, that includes manufacturing, it includes regulatory affairs, and it includes pharmacovigilance. Right? Right. Of those three, I'm going to go out and stick my neck out and say regulatory affairs is the highest paying subsector within all the sectors of pharmacy. Okay. This is where you see salaries going above the R1,000,000 per year easily. And you won't get that with retail unless it's your own retail pharmacy and it's really doing well and you can afford to pay yourself that much. But it's definitely not going to be in hospital if you're a regular pharmacist. Perhaps if you're in clinical and if you get a really good post in a really good private hospital, perhaps if you're a pharmacokineticist, which I don't know of any posts at the moment that are actually created and funded. So unless it's a specialty, oh yeah, and I wanted to touch on that. With just a pharmacy degree, with no added degrees or postgraduates or whatever, the best sector to get the most amount of remuneration with the least amount of stress is regulatory or, subsector within manufacturing and within industry. The reason I say with the least amount of stress is because the working hours and the working conditions are usually the best. Okay. We all know retail is the dirt end of pharmacy, and then it goes backwards until you have the kings and queens sitting in high places having tea and biscuit meetings discussing the rest of the world, like what's going to happen to industry. So the regulators are pretty much that. They regulate the whole industry, so they call the shots and they decide what happens. And but it's a very serious position. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like corporates bullying pharmacies. It's more like regulators doing the groundwork, laying the foundations and everything. So salary wise, like I said, it's far above the million for most of them. And this is like grade 1 and 2, not even 3 or like 10 plus years experience. Okay. Like I said in my previous video, the pay scale climbs really quickly when you know what you're doing and when you like I said in my previous video, when you know what you're doing and when you have a plan and a goal, and when you're going for it and striving to achieve it, you can get far beyond $1 million per annum within the first 3 to 4 years. Most people will get there from 5 years onwards, but it's not even an issue. Like, who doesn't want to get 80 plus K a month, working a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 4 job with no weekends, with performance bonuses up to 30% of your salary, usually in a very comfortable office somewhere. It's very comfortable. I don't think even medical officers, they have to run up and down like crazy in hospitals and also work through very strenuous circumstances. Like in retail, pharmacists are standing on their feet for really long shifts, multitasking like mad, doing repeat prescriptions, doing counseling, doing consultations, doing refills, answering phones, doing medical aids, doing all these kinds of things at once. and still ensuring safety of pharmacotherapies, overlooking or supervising and double checking assistants and texts and stuff. So retail is the most gruesome sector. But anyways, like I said, regulatory or certain posts like pharmacovigilance, compliance, regulatory, and responsible pharmacists are the most quote unquote prestigious roles that you will find within the pharma industry. On average, salaries never fall beneath 50Ks a month. Okay. So it's really, really important that you guys understand when somebody says, oh, the pharma industry is dead or things have changed and blah, 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 they are usually only talking about retail. And yes, that is true. The retail side of things has gone pretty sour over the years, but that's a different story for a different day. Okay. Speaking of lucrative sectors, industry comprising of the manufacturing, the compliance, the pharmacovigilance, the regulatory, that is where it's popping. Okay. You have distribution, you have wholesale that aren't bad. Hospital is also another huge story for a different day. It's way better than retail in terms of, and don't get me wrong, again, different people have their passions, different people have their vocation. Somebody is gonna swear by retail and that's what they were meant to do. And somebody else is gonna swear by a hospital, and somebody else is gonna swear by regulatory. So never shoot down somebody else's passion, because we were all put on this earth for different things. Like, you can't say this is better compared to what? Better for whom? Okay. So I'm only saying in terms of stress levels and working conditions, retail is obviously the most strenuous. Okay. With the others, you have a lot of more comfortable settings, offices, working hours. The stress levels come a little bit lower. Although if you're an RP for a huge pharma manufacturer, you need to, your stress levels kind of go up high again, because you have to deal with every department's nonsense and failure to comply. And it's your name on the final documents. So it can be very stressful if you're going to put your license on the line to deal with everybody else's incompetence. You'll check with different departments and it's a mess at QA. It's a mess at production or whatever. Like, you have to deal with that. So it's hard to juggle. It's hard to tell. But in general, people are happier, less stressed. Considering stress levels and happy levels, I think people are generally more satisfied in manufacturing and regulatory and compliance and pharmacovigilance than in retail and hospital. And with hospital, it includes clinics and everything. So let's just call it institutional. Okay. So yeah. And that's my takeaway for you guys watching this video. There is no better sector. Okay. If you're looking at money, it depends how you want to make it. Opening your own pharmacy might bring you more money than somebody who's working in production, somebody who's working in regulatory. But if you're going to work for somebody else, then you're capped. So it's always relative, always weigh it against something, and always make it tailored and customized to you. Okay. So that's all for me, guys. I hope this video was a little bit insightful. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.